How do I start this video? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is, oh my god, there's chicken pot pie on my mouth. Okay, anyways, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Hannah and we talk about everything beauty, fashion, makeup, hair, all of that related, whatever. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've never done a video like this. I guess I don't need that. I've been thinking about filming a video like this for a really long time. Just didn't feel completely ready to like lay it all out there for, you know, YouTube to see. I had a lot of requests about this. Like a lot of people have said, you know, talk about anxiety, and I am an open book. Like I tell people anything, everything. I don't really hide things. You know that like my perception on social media can be a little bit different, and you know, you might think like, oh, she's stuck up, or she's this, or she's this. And I understand where that's coming from. Like I really do. But I'm actually just a really anxious, normal person. So today I want to talk about my anxiety, how I deal with anxiety, and like just the story of how I became overpowered by anxiety and how I came through it with it. If this helps somebody out there, then you know, just one person, if it helps, that's all I need. I'm not worried about putting myself all out there, but at the same time I kind of am, so please be easy on me, okay? So my anxiety has always been mild. When I was younger, I was a very anxious kid. You know, I was always worried and I would cry over like really stupid things, and I was just anxious, but never to the point where it was hindering the things that I did. I lived a normal life. I've never really faced any type of difficulty. My parents are happy, healthy, and married for the past 25 years. I am happy, healthy, and like I've never really felt any type of brokenness, ever. I've also lived at home for the past 20 years, which has been amazing. Like I love being home. I love my environment here. I love where I'm from. Like I know it's a small town and a lot of people, you know, aren't fond of it, but I really don't have anything bad to say. And yeah, I've just had a really, really good life. Like there's really no other way to put it. I am very grateful. Like I know what I have and I'm so thankful. The first thing that kind of piqued my anxiety, which is normal, is I moved to school. So I go to Penn State and I got an apartment at Penn State, and I was with like my best friend and two other girls, and I was not worried about it at all. I was excited. I was looking forward to it. I was telling people how much I couldn't wait to be at school, you know, everything. But when I got there, it was just a little bit different. And this, like what I'm about to tell, is like pretty much the reason for my anxiety. And I want it to be taken, you know, seriously, I guess. But I went through a really, really hard breakup when I was at school. Moved to school in hopes that it would make the relationship better, and it didn't. And that's life. But as soon as I got to school, at the same time, like I had moved out of my parents' house, moved into my own place where I paid my own bills, where I paid the water bill, where, you know, like all those types of things. And if that wasn't enough, on top of that, I thought I would have somebody there for me already, like already at school. And it was the exact opposite. And I went through a pretty rough breakup. And in terms of the breakup, it wasn't really messy. It wasn't like drama, you know, things like that. It was just a breakup, and I did not deal well with it. So that is truly the cause of my anxiety. I went through an awful breakup. I did not really even like foresee like existing after that. Like I didn't know what to do with my days, with my time. I would sleep all the time. I was not okay. I would have highs and lows. I would cry and then laugh. Like I was all over the place. To an extent, it's normal when you go through a breakup to feel a certain type of way, but this was different. I could feel it different in myself. I felt like I was just walking and existing with nothing inside of me. And then I would go through periods of guilt where I would feel so guilty because I knew that I had everything in the palm of my hands. I knew that I had, you know, like social media that people really genuinely cared what I had to say. I knew that I had brands in my emails wanting to work with me, wanting to pay me to talk about things that I already love. I knew that I had a beautiful, healthy, loving family back home. I knew that I was at a great university. I knew that I was lucky enough to be in my own apartment. I knew. Like, I remember looking in the mirror and looking at myself and thinking, you have never looked this good in your whole lifetime. I know that not everyone's opinions are the same, but like my hair was to my butt, my waist was snatched, like my eyelashes were long, my skin was clear. I seriously like had everything I could have wished for, and it just wasn't enough. Just still felt so empty, and that is honestly the root of where all my anxiety came from, all of it. I know that some people might say like, okay, a breakup is different than anxiety, but I think it just provoked the anxiety. Like the guy that I went through the breakup with goes to Penn State, and you know, like I was actually in classes with him. Yeah, it just gave me insane amounts of anxiety. Like walking on campus, felt sick. And this is like a big part that I really debated on sharing, but it is a fact, so I'm just gonna state the facts, I guess. But I felt like the whole world was against me. I wanted to sleep all day. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go to sporting events. I didn't want to do anything. Like, I seriously, nothing made me happy, no matter how much lip injections I would get, no matter how much money I would spend, nothing made me happy. And it was just a brutal year of my life. I felt this way from probably August to about March. And it was long. Looking back on it now, I don't know how I lived like that. Honestly, I don't know how I lived like that. I'm like getting emotional about it right now, thinking about how miserable I was. And you know, like this also definitely falls along with like depression and things like that. The end result of this was definitely crippling anxiety. And I had just like conformed and found so much anxiety in me, to the point where like I would be driving down the road and I would turn my turn signal on and then turn it off and then turn it back on, because I just couldn't figure out where I was going or what I was doing. Or anxiety is something that is just not to be messed with. It's really hard to explain for somebody that's never went through it. I mean, I'm sure everybody has had anxiety to a point, like to some type of a point, but I feel like anxiety, for me at least, became really serious when it started like affecting who I was friends with, or where I went, what I did day to day, if I was okay. That like it really took a toll on me. So the other thing that provoked a lot of anxiety was while this was all going on, while I was, you know, suffering through this like heartbreak, I went to a doctor because I found a lump in my boob. Whenever I found it, I didn't think like, oh, this is cancerous. I didn't think like the worst. I really tried to stay positive, and I thought, you know, maybe it's nothing, I'll just go to a doctor. I was almost more concerned with my heartbreak than I really was with my own health, and that's how I know that it was just not healthy. I had 2 biopsies done, and finally I got test results back that it was just a binary cyst, something like that. It wasn't cancerous, it just was a cyst, and not even a cyst, it was just like a lump, or I don't even know what the correct term is, but it wasn't harmful to my body, and it was just allowed to stay in my body. So that stress and anxiety definitely was on me, but like on top of everything else. So it was just hard. Like putting into words how I felt for the past year of my life. I can't put it into words. Like I'm sitting here right now talking about this, and I can't believe that like a couple months ago I would have been like having a panic attack, honestly. The first thing I did for my anxiety was talk to somebody. This wasn't hard for me because, like I said, I'm an open book and I love to talk. I actually tried to contact Penn State about counseling, and they had told me that I was on an 8-week wait list, which did not sit well with me at all. And I know that at some point in time I have referenced not really preferring Penn State on my YouTube channel, and you know, it's not because of this or this, it's because of that. Honestly, that rubbed me the wrong way. You know, calling a helpline, like you pick up and you call a phone, you call a help hotline, and you're already embarrassed, you're already anxious, you're already feeling sick, and for them to just tell you that you're on an 8-week wait list to talk to somebody, I don't know. That did not sit well with me from Penn State. I know that Penn State is a great school, and Penn State is a great school. It's a great program and all, but that really turned me off, and I, like it would for I think anybody, that really didn't fly with me. They did put me in contact with other people that, you know, other like medical professionals that could provide counseling off campus. So I will say that it's not like they did nothing. They did put me in contact with other people, but honestly, I would look at it like you just spent $2 million on a new football arena or whatever. You just spent $100,000 to put a flavored water machine in the hub, but you don't have enough staff, that there's that many people on a wait list. Something about it doesn't sit right with me, and I will say that over and over and over again. I'm still going to go to Penn State, I'm still going to graduate from Penn State, I'm still going to be proud to be from Penn State, but that if you ever hear me reference not 100% supporting Penn State, that's why. I started talking to somebody, I started going to a therapist. She was not a medical doctor, she was just like a psychology, I don't know, like she's just a therapist. And I talked to her from probably October to May. Yeah, May. I think that getting a therapist was probably one of the best things I ever did. I can think back on my growth now, and I would go in October and cry for the whole 50 minutes, and then we got to the point where I would go in and talk and we would almost run out of things to talk about, and that's how I knew that I was getting better. I could see the progression in it, and I was no longer looking forward to my appointments. My mind was on other things, and that's how I knew that, you know, I was getting better. And I really think that if you can afford it, I mean, my copay was high, but my mom helped a lot because she knew that I needed it. So I went to the therapist once a week, and yeah, it helped a lot. If you can try that, I would say try that first, honestly. So a couple other little things that I did to help my anxiety. These little things added up really made a big difference. So before I would go to bed, I would make sure I wrote down, usually in my phone, I would just use the notes on my phone and write down exactly what I needed to do the next day. Because if you just wake up with no direction, with no set plan, even for a person that's not anxious, it's still kind of nerve-wracking. And someone that has an extreme anxiety anyway, it's just gonna make it worse. So that is definitely a big thing for me now. I still do that every day. I plan my weeks almost in advance, but I make sure every night before I go to bed, I realize what I need to do, and I think about it, I focus on it for a couple minutes, and then I let it go, and I know that it's all in my notes, and I'll take care of it all tomorrow. So also something that really helped me a lot that my therapist actually suggested, she said, do you spend a lot of time in your bed when you're not sleeping? And I said, yes. I just always haven't been a bad sleeper. My dad is a bad sleeper. I don't sleep. Like, I seriously, like, I know that some people think it's cute to be like, I don't sleep. No. Like, I literally don't sleep. I wake up probably 4 or 5 times in a night. You know, I go to sleep late and wake up early. Every day I wake up at, you know, maybe 6, 7. Like, my eyes are like this. I wake up, there's tension in my chest, and it's anxiety. I really struggle with my sleep. So my doctor suggested to not get in bed unless I'm going to bed, and that was a big game changer. I know, like, a lot of college students and stuff, you do your homework in your bed. I do, in the nature of my job, like, I make money off of YouTube. Like, this is my main source of income, honestly. And I know that I'm not huge or anything, but like with different brand deals and things like that, I do make money off of YouTube, and I coach cheerleading as well. So those are my 2 main sources of income. And like, I don't know, I can do work from my bed. I prefer to lay in bed and edit videos. I prefer to, you know, and that's what I was doing. And I didn't think there was anything wrong with it until my anxiety was through the roof, and I would cry midday every day. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Definitely, if you can not lay in bed unless you're going to bed, it'll make the biggest difference. And at least it did for me. So give it a try. Another thing I tried for anxiety, which a lot of you have been asking me about, so we have a video coming soon, is exercise. My doctor suggested it, and I was like, no, I don't need that. But yeah, I started exercising. I work out with a personal trainer now. He actually just moved to Pittsburgh on Monday, and it's Wednesday. So I'm looking for a new one, but I mean, we worked out together for about 2 months, and it really helped my anxiety. I actually worked out midday. I worked out at 2 o'clock because that's when my anxiety was always at the highest. And because if I wasn't doing something midday, I just felt like, what am I doing? I would suggest exercising, even if it's just taking a walk or like swimming or doing something. I know it sounds cheesy, but like, some physical type of exercise will help. At least it did for me. So when I tried all of these things, I made all of these changes. I made a lot of healthy changes in my life too. I stopped tanning. When all of this happened, I was still really struggling. I was still living in state college. And in April, I went to my doctor. I know that medication is very controversial, and you know, some people don't want to put medicine into their body, and I understand that because I was the same way. But I did go to my doctor, and you know, she said, tell me what's been going on. And when I instantly started crying and could hardly even spit out what has been going on, she was like, all right, you know, I think I'm gonna give you medication. And I know that I'm not gonna sit here and push drugs and things like that, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But I would definitely suggest talking to your doctor. You can give them the type of concerns you have, whether it be like putting medicine into your body or whatever it is. But you know, hearing what your doctor has to say, I would definitely suggest it. It doesn't hurt to just hear what they have to say. I'm not saying that you have to be on medicine for the rest of your life or whatever, but I know it's helped a lot of people. If you try it and you don't like it, then you can go off of it. I know it's a very touchy subject, but like, in my opinion, I tried it as a last resort and it has helped me. Do I think it cured me? No. But do I feel relieved when I take medicine? Yes. That was my last resort. I was against medication for so long until I realized that like crying every day was awful. I didn't want to feel that way anymore, and I had to do something about it myself if I wanted to change. I just really think that if you can find somebody that you feel comfortable talking to, that is the best thing to tell them your anxiety, tell them your fears, tell them what's bothering you, tell them what's keeping you up at night. And hopefully, you know, someone will understand, someone will listen. I want everybody to know that it is normal, that, you know, I have a YouTube channel, I make YouTube videos, I coach cheerleading, I go to Penn State. I have like the life, I feel like. I mean, I can't complain about my life. It is a great life. I'm very, very, very lucky, and I still felt awful. So you never know, and I just want everybody to know that the things that you see on Instagram, the things that you see people doing, living their best life, it's not always someone's best life. We all go through things, and we all handle things differently, we all heal differently, But, you know, through my journey, I have developed a lot of anxiety, but at the same time, I have also developed a lot of, like, a lot of things wouldn't have happened if I didn't go through this journey. I would have never started a YouTube channel, and I'm gonna say this, and I know it's gonna be really sappy, but I honestly would not have started a YouTube channel. My reason for starting a YouTube channel was because I felt so anxious and depressed that I would get on Instagram Live and do my makeup, and it made me not feel that way for an hour. Like, I would get on Instagram Live for a whole hour and it would make me feel really good. So I decided that it was time to make YouTube videos because maybe it would give me the same type of satisfaction. And it does. I love this. I love making videos, and like I always say, I don't care about numbers. I literally just do it, and I have a lot of fun. I feel like myself. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I can be creative. I feel like I can do whatever I want to do, and people are really supportive of it, and that's sometimes why I say, like, thank you so much. Like, you don't know how much this helps me, and I mean it. Like, there is a backstory to it, and I did this because I was looking out for myself. I said, you know, make this better for yourself down the long run, and it's almost a year later now that I've went through this breakup. I've went through this, like, hurt and this anxiety, and I can actually finally say that I do feel better. I do still suffer from anxiety. I still have bad days and all, but it's not to the extent it was a year ago. I feel a lot better. I have also discovered a lot more of, like, how I want to be treated, and, you know, things that I just won't do again. And I think that's a part of growing up. That's a part of growing, just realizing what you would do again and what you would never put yourself through again. Yeah, so I really urge you guys to take care of your anxiety before it gets out of control. Mine was, like, on the verge of getting out of control, and if I wouldn't have moved home, honestly, I don't think it would have gotten that much better. So I think that, like, even if you don't know deep in your heart what is best for you, talk to somebody, figure it out, and do what is best for you. It might just be something that makes your life awful temporarily, but if it is best for you in the long run, I want you to, like, put every ounce of your effort into making yourself better in the long run. That is just a tough lesson I learned, but the anxiety and the depression and, like, all of that, you know, it's serious. Living with anxiety is serious. It is not something to be taken lightly, and I'm so happy I could make this video to speak to people about anxiety. I just want to encourage people to get out there and talk about your anxiety. I know that might give you anxiety, but do it. Like, talk as much as you can. You know, no one's forcing you to, but in the end, I really think that it does make people feel better. Ask questions, figure out what you need, what you want, and go out there and do it for yourself and not for anybody else. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sure we'll talk more about anxiety in future videos, but I hope I helped somebody out there, and thank you so much for watching. Like I always say, thank you for your support. Bye.